Howdy do. How are you guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's cold. Negative like 2, -3 degrees this morning. What do you make of the 3.0 Ford Fusion? Oh, I have plenty of videos on that, buddy. It's one of the best engines they've made. It's super reliable too. Little nice light warm up going on here. Yeah, it's very reliable. 3.0 liter. Are the EcoBoost engines having problems? Not really. Not like 23 and beyond, 22 and beyond. Not as much as they used to. You don't hear the stuff nearly as much as it was before. Good morning. I'm gonna angle this a little bit this way because I'm gonna kind of superset this a little bit. If you guys know what superset means, I guess everybody can kind of have a little bit of a different variation of it. Where you go from one workout to the next and you kind of stack them on top of each other. Trying to get some shoulder shrugs in, maybe some T-bar rows. You guys hear the tragedy? You hear what happened last night? Like, you hear about the mass shooting in Australia? It's really, really, really sad. a bunch of Jewish people that were celebrating the beginning of their holiday, and two gunmen stood from a parking lot bridge location and fired into a crowd of 1,000 people and just started taking them out. 29 people ended up injured. 11 people ended up dying. One of the people that were injured was a kid. I've got the video footage of the bystander that was hiding behind a car that attacked one of the gunmen and tackled him. And, well, it was this, you're saying 12, but this morning it was 11, so maybe it's been updated. So, and that will probably change as well. It'll probably be more than 12. It's sick, man. Hey, Joe. Good morning. It's sick what people are doing to other people these days. The video shows a guy hiding behind a car as the guy's taking shots into the crowd of people at the beach, and he like peeks over the car to see if he's got the clearing. And as the gunman's focused in on the beach and he's shooting, he comes up behind him and throws one arm around his head and goes for the rifle with the other arm and pulls it out of the guy's arms and then turns it at him. He showed a lot of self-control because a lot of people would have started pulling the trigger and killed that guy right there. But instead, the police apprehended him. And the other gunman is dead. But I wanted to get that video footage of that bystander, the innocent bystander that stepped up and became a hero and tackled that guy or came up behind him and grabbed him and pulled the gun away from him. So I can save that video in case it gets pulled off social media. This guy needs to be honored. He probably saved dozens of people's lives. Do I like the triple funnel? I don't, what is that? What's the triple funnel set? I don't know what that is. Are you talking about the cheap plastic ones from like AutoZone and Walmart and stuff like that? I don't know what you're talking about, lightning or light storm. I don't know, man. I'm not really thinking about funnels right now, to be honest with you. You'd have to give me a more descriptive other than a triple funnel. I don't know what that is. Ooh. It's still cold in here. It's cold. It's really cold. It's -2, -3 degrees this morning. The battery in the vehicle, I'm shooting a video on the BM200 battery monitor, and that battery monitor says the batteries are -6, -7 degrees. So yeah, it's cold. Viking charger? Is that the charger from Harbor Freight? If it's from Harbor Freight, it's probably pretty good. Well, without that Ansel BM200, I would have probably 2 or 3 dead cars out here right now. So that's why whenever I post this video this morning, you guys will see that Ansel BM200 has saved me multiple times already. And it's that little monitor that's like 20 some bucks, 23, 24 bucks, and it attaches to the battery and it hooks into the post and it monitors the battery voltage. And as you walk by the car, you can get a live update. 10, 20 feet away, it starts to update to your phone and tell you where the battery's at. The Sierra this morning was at 0% and like 11.7 volts. The Ford was at like 18% and it was at 12.7 volts. And the Suburban, we drove it last night and we drove it pretty far, like 30 minutes, not far, but 30 minutes away, 30 minutes back. And that battery was at 30-some% this morning at like 12.4 volts. So all 3 of the vehicles were really low, especially the Sierra and the Ford, because I haven't started them in the last 2 days. Or actually went out and driven them in the last 2 days. And those batteries were into the negative temperatures. And I've been letting them run for about an hour, hour and a half right now to get the battery back up to health. And I'll show you the readout, cold versus where it's at now, and how it'll actually give you a live update on what's going on with the battery. So you know, oh crap, I need to get out there and start this vehicle. This is my battery is going to be done. So I started with 135 for 12, 185 for 12, 225 for 10, and I'm going to try 275 for 10. And all I'm trying to do is just shoulder shrugs. Just nothing too crazy, just nice shoulder shrugs. I'll do that set one more time. You know what? I think I'm going to bump it up to 295 and finish my last set with 295 instead. I got a little bit more juice in the tank. Why not? Why not? Ooh, it's cold. It is cold. Yeah, that cover deflects air up onto the catalytic converter and the not the catalytic converter, but the PTU. It'll actually deflect air as wind's coming forward. It'll catch that cover, and there's like little directional fins, and there's a little scoop, and it shoots air up in that area where the all-wheel drive unit is, the little transfer case, and it tries to help keep it cool because that unit is attached to the transmission that's then buried behind the engine that has a catalytic converter that comes on the other side of it, so it's getting cooked, and there's no relief. That's why that fluid should be changed like every 20,000 miles in those PTUs. So that they put a little directional flap there so it can catch air that's coming underneath the vehicle and direct it up into that area to try to help keep that PTU a little cooler. Yeah, I just talked about the mass shooting in Australia. It just said how tragic it was, and spoke about the innocent bystander that actually came up behind the guy and like threw his arm around him and grabbed the rifle out of his other hand and yanked it away from the guy, and he turned it back on him. And it took a lot of self-control to not blow that guy away right there after he got done shooting all those people. The other one guy's dead. The other guy got apprehended by the police. They don't want to put out any statistics yet. They said they were kind of watching one guy. He was kind of an issue. He was on the radar, but he wasn't really a threat. So they didn't do anything to him. Had they have acted, this wouldn't have happened. So it's sad. It's really sad that this type of stuff goes on and they get a pass for it. So it's like 12 people dead, 29, 30 people injured, and the death toll is probably going to still rise. And they shot at a bunch of Jewish people that were celebrating Hanukkah, the beginning of Hanukkah, and they just shot into a crowd of like 1,000 Jewish people just to start killing them. Well, it's my last set there. Now I'm going to move over to T-bar rows. What do you guys got? Don't get quiet on me now. '25 Explorer is a two-wheel drive version. Does it have a PTU? How do you got a 20? You have a front-wheel drive Explorer? No, if it's not four-wheel drive, it doesn't have a PTU. So then I would say I'm not familiar with that. Those covers, they're there for a reason. I wouldn't be taking them off unless you actually need to. It might be annoying to you taking them off every time you got to do a service, but that's just the cost of owning a vehicle. There's a reason why they're there. Leave them alone, you know. Just so you guys can see how I hook up my T-bar rows, I got an attachment that goes at the bottom of my my power rack. Some people were asking me about that, if I'm ever going to do them or demonstrate how they're done. Well, this is how they're done. And This is me demonstrating. If you want a wide back, you want those big wings on the side, wide stand or wide form lat pull down behind the head, real wide, straight down, squeeze, let go, squeeze, let go, and that's the wide ones. And then any kind of dumbbell pull, that's one thing. That's great for thickness of the back. And T-bar rows, shoulder shrugs. Those are the 4 main ways to blow your back up. Good morning. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. I mean, only thing I can think of, if it starts leaking or something like that, I would rather it be on the cover than the ground, but then sometimes you actually won't be able to see if it's leaking. The second thing is, during the wintertime, it can help keep some of that heat in the engine bay to keep the engine more efficient and warmer longer. But also, in the summertime, it can trap that heat in the engine bay a little bit and cause things to break down a little faster. It's kind of like half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. What do you want to go? What do you want to be most concerned with? I'm going to take these plastic shims out of there until I can ream them out a little bit more because they fit too tight on the bar. And I'm going to use just the metal part alone. So, you're going to hear people talk about different variations of this. This is just my variation. This is what works for me. And this is what I simply get the best results with. So I straddle the bar. Let's see here. Let me see if I can come up a little bit so you can see more. I straddle the bar, and then I try to keep my back as straight as I possibly can. I'll reach down, and I'll come up here like this. And I'll try to stand at like a 45, and I'll let my knees come forward, and I'll bring my butt into it, and I'll pull back, back, back. If I want more pull, all I gotta do is bend over a little bit more, find a comfortable spot, pull, pull. If I want to come back more, I can change the location, but then I get less pull. If I go forward more, I get more travel. If I want even more travel, I get rid of the bumper plate and I only go to a steel plate. Okay. The Car Wizard recommends not buying any new 25-26 model years from the big three. Well, let's me and you be honest with each other. That's absolutely ludicrous. Anybody that has that type of bias, especially after a model's been out for so long, 4, 5, 6 years, pretty much at that point has its kinks worked out. You can clearly see the Car Wizard has a little bit of a bias there. He is right with the quality of new American cars, but that's just not American cars. That's cars across the board. If you want to be fair, then I'd say I wouldn't buy any new vehicle in 25 or 26. What's so special about 25 or 26? Nothing. It's going to be the same thing in 27 and 28, and it's going to be the same thing as 29 and 30. It's going to be the same rhetoric. You have to understand a lot of these social media creators and influencers, they some of them are really smart. Car Wizard, he's very smart. But they also have to get into your feelings, emotion, and attention to cause the channel to grow. That's how you attract a following. You need to get into people's emotions. You need to have them attached to what you're saying in some way, shape, or form. And that's how you build a following. That's how you build more revenue. That's how you build more watch time, is by saying things like that. Because then you get in the comment section and you start arguing with people and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. Normally I get 50,000 views, now I've got 300,000 views because of this type of dramatic event or these types of words that I used. And it works. It does. It's a good tool to use. How often should I drain the transmission fluid on my 2018 Ford Fusion Hybrid? Every 40, 50,000 miles. I'm consistent across the board with that. That's my recommendation for every make and model. And if it's more severe use, 30 to 40,000 miles. I'd rather have the steel plates on there, because with the steel plates I can pull further back. With the rubber plates, it keeps my shoulders forward a little bit more, my arms forward a little bit more, and I want more pull. Oh, that feels good. That feels real good. That little bit extra pull helped a lot. You won't buy anything past 2,000, I don't blame you. This is 125 on there right now. It's 245s on a 35. So yeah, vehicles post-COVID are pretty rough. But hopefully Trump's able to get this thing with the EPA passed through so they can take the handcuffs off of the car manufacturers, so they can actually start producing vehicles that don't have all this emissions crap. Trump says he's trying to work it out, but looks like a nutcracker exercise. It definitely, if you stand back a little further than what it was, you can feel it pop you right in the nuts, and it does not feel good. Oh yeah, yeah. Now 160. What truck? The F-150 is good. The Sierra is good, and the Suburban is good. The Sierra, I got to do a power steering line seals. Where it goes into the rack, the seal is starting to leak a lot. But other than that, the Suburban, I just found out last night when I went to go pull out of the parking spot, it almost felt like a driveline thump, which I'm going to do a video on soon. And I was like, wait a second, that's not driveline, and that feels like it came from the drive shaft, like a U-joint or something starting to go bad, and it kind of is getting loose. It's not. It's the motor mount. The motor mount's coming up and catching because the rubber bushing is no good on the driver's side. And on those GMs from even pre-2007 and before, all the way up, the GMs are really weak on the driver's side mount. That's why those guys end up going with steel mounts on their race cars and stuff, because the GM mounts, engine mounts in general, are not very strong. Those Suburbans, the Tahoes, the Sierras, the Silverados, they had a huge problem with that. I actually got one at the shop right now. It's a four-wheel drive Yukon. I got to pull the exhaust manifold and everything off of it just to change the driver's side mount. The F-150 has no problems at all. I never have a problem with the F-150, really. It's just maintenance stuff. How's the back? But like right now, how does the back feel with the workouts? It feels amazing. It's all, I feel it's like it's all full of blood. I feel all the little muscle groups pushing against each other. It feels great. At that point, you slam it in reverse. What year, Bird? 07. But they all do it, though. Even up to the new 21s, 22s, they all do it. They're all freaking junk. I don't know. I might agree with the Car Wizard on that. I probably wouldn't touch a freaking GM from like 2014 on, because the previous generation had AFM problems, but in 14, they started to have transmission AFM problems and all kinds of like electrical issues and motor mount problems and stuff. 2014 on, GM just kind of went downhill. Huge. Really, really big. And then like 2020, 2021 with the 6.2 liter fiasco and pistons blowing through the freaking block and the lifter fiasco and people with 500 miles on their new Silverados and Sierras, the camshafts getting freaking blown up by a lifter falling down into it. And it's GM. I know a lot of people like to talk trash about Ford and their recalls, but GM has actually been doing an atrocious job with their engines, like way worse than Ford, especially for the last 5 years. It's been absolutely a disaster with them, and I'm surprised they're even still in business with the amount of engines they're replacing. It's got to be costing them a fortune. It's starting to move my whole rack. There's so much weight pushing into the corner. Yes, it's a crack in the concrete. I've already went over this. That's one of my struggles with this house. It's cracked from the center all the way through. It's a struggle trying to find somebody that wants to come out and fix it. In order to fix it properly, you got to have somebody come in with a concrete saw, and you got to trim. You got to actually concrete saw the entire perimeter around the garage, and then you got to bust up the stuff that's in the center and take it out, and then you got to jack the corner up over here that's actually starting to settle, that's making it crack, and support it to re-pour this floor to make sure that it doesn't continue to sink. It's about $6,500, which I'm probably going to do next year. I'm just going to have this whole floor re-poured. In order for me to actually get it fixed, if I wanted to keep it like it was and suck out all the crack, the stuff that's in the crack, and reinforce it, I'd have to have a company go under the garage, dig about 10 feet down into the ground, 7, 8 feet, 10 feet down into the ground, and they'd have to put metal pillar joists with big wide steel plates that you can adjust to lift it up, and then they'd have to backfill it all in, but they got to go down to like rock foundation in order to do it, and it's deep. It's almost like a $20,000 job. I'm not doing that. I'd rather just tear the garage down and build a new one for that price. So yes, this crack's already been covered. It's a little bit of a homeowner insecurity of mine, and I typically don't talk about it because I've already talked about it so much. But I'm blessed because most people don't even have a garage they can work out of or that they can work out in. So if I have to go to the extent of replacing it or getting down under the foundation to fix stuff, I won't fix it. I'll replace the garage. It's just, it would add more value to the house by replacing the garage than digging underneath it, spending thousands of dollars. So the best bet is to cut the floor out, jackhammer it all up and get the pieces out of here, and then re-pour the garage and just level out this one individual side right here in this corner and just make it like new again. Right, and yeah, well, I'm exempt from taxes because I got hurt in Iraq, and I have PTSD, and I have got like mental issues, not to the point where I'm crazy, but to the point where I like have nightmares and flashbacks and everything else, and you know, watching one of your medics die within 30 minutes after getting shot in the armpit and a round going into his lungs, and then 25 minutes later he's being air flighted off in a Black Hawk, and he dies in the middle of takeoff. That'll do a number on you. So I've definitely got some issues. My back's screwed up, the constant headaches and stuff all the time that I had, ACL, MCL blown out from an accident in Iraq, being on the fob with a bunch of burning shit and stuff all over the place, breathing all that stuff in. I ended up getting a condition called a mobayic dysentery where it screwed up my digestive system and it left me sick for weeks and I almost died. So yeah, I'm exempt from paying property taxes because of everything that I've been through. And in Illinois, the one good thing about being in Illinois is my family can go to college on my behalf. Like because I'm a vet, a disabled vet, they can go to college here, and I don't have to pay for it. Actually, all of our taxpayer dollars actually pay for it. That's the type of stuff our taxpayer dollars should be going to, in my opinion. I pay a lot in taxes, and I mean a lot, because I have triple income, so I pay a lot in taxes. And my family can go to college here, to a 4-year accredited college. My wife can go back to school on my veteran status if she wanted to and get her like doctorate or something. And if you're 70% or more and you file every year, you're property tax exempt. So I wake up a lot sometimes with I'll have nightmares.
I always have to be aware of my surroundings when I'm out in public because I'm worried something's going to happen. So I typically always sit with my back to the wall and my face towards the door, just because I don't want to be surprised by somebody trying to attack me or my family. What's up? What's up there? Sonny boy. Good morning, Canadian. Good morning, Preston. What's up, my son? My son, Jay. Oh, oh, whew. Oh my God. I see the steam coming off of my head. I'm just trying to do a couple burnout sets before I'm done. Trying to burn it out before I go inside. I don't even know how many I did. Probably over 40 or something, 40 or 50, probably 50 plus, I don't know. Around 50. The bulk of the workout's done, but sometimes I don't like to finish easy like that and just be done. I like to make sure when I leave here, I feel it for the next few days. But you have to be mindful of training as well, because you can train into an area where you're training more cardio or not so much muscle. Not so much trying to build so much lean muscle mass as much as you are building more of a cardio type aspect with hypertrophy training instead of actually trying to make the muscle grow. So there's a difference. That's why I do the 8 to 12 reps and no more, because that seems to be the sweet spot for most muscle building. Once you get into the higher reps, some people's body do respond better to higher rep training, because that really activates other muscle fibers and stuff that aren't normally activated, because the weight could be so light in the beginning you're only using a specific group of muscle fibers, but once you start to tire out, your body will actually start firing and activating other muscle fibers in that area that aren't typically working and get them involved, because you're really stressing that muscle group. And if you don't know very much about muscle building in general, you have to fatigue those muscles. You have to get to the point where you're tapping into those other muscle groups sometimes as well, either by weight and pulling very hard, or by volume and pulling very hard. It just all depends on how your body responds. If you don't know, there's something called mTOR, And mTOR is a big precursor to building muscle and protein synthesis and using proteins to actually build lean muscle mass. And there's a whole science behind it. Even those people that are anti-estrogen, estrogen has a huge factor in actually metabolizing things and actually getting into the mitochondria of the cell to create specific conditions like fat loss and things like that, but it can also cause you to gain weight. Just all depends on how your body's responding to your workouts and how knowledgeable you are about nutrition to activate and get into those, I call them the micro concepts of actually health that most people don't understand. Once you start... Okay, be mad at me then. Once you start understanding those other things that go on, you become a better lifter, you become a healthier person because you understand what it takes to push yourself. And your level of how you were pushing yourself before actually isn't enough to get the growth that you want. You got to go to that next level. Merry Christmas. All right, let's give it one more good one. I think I'll throw 25 more. I got 35 on each side right now, so 70. I think I'll throw 25 on each side and try to do half the amount of reps and just be done. And then I'm going to go inside with my family, and then we're going to go do some shopping today. Grocery shopping. I got a big, giant, free-range, organic turkey breast set on the smoker right now. My go-to meals, I do a lot of chicken and turkey because my body processes it very fast and it's able to digest very quick. My favorite protein is obviously beef or bison. Bison's even better than beef. Venison, if I could get venison, it's super healthy. Venison and bison are super healthy, but you got to have enough fat with it to offset excessive amounts of protein. I do a lot of leafy greens like chopped cabbage salads, regular salads. I do like tomatoes and onions and radishes, beets, carrots. I won't get into mashed potatoes and stuff too much, or like the complex starchy carbs. I won't do any of that. So basically it's just, for the most part, it's just meat, plenty of fat, real butter, water, coffee, and green veggies. And then I throw some beets in there every once in a while. That's my diet. There's no go-to meals. That's just what I do. I'm starting to get hot. So, yeah, I haven't been able to wear this shirt in a few years. I couldn't even put this shirt on after I bought it. I thought I would be able to fit into it. I couldn't fit into it. Now I got it on today. Plenty of room. Okay, this is gonna hurt. That's it. I'm done. That's it. Oh, lightheaded. Woo. Oh, that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. That's all she wrote, folks. I don't know if you were here, user, or can I just call you A1? Because I don't even know what to call you. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but I was able to pull 210 pounds lat pull down for 8 times, 8 times, but it was kind of broken. So by my birthday, January 24th, I want to be able to put that same weight on there, that 210 pounds, and be able to do it like 10 to 12 times, really strict, really nice, great form. I've never even seen anybody do that other than like strongmen or bodybuilders that are extremely strong pull that amount of weight. I see most people in the gym that work up to about 140, 160. Sometimes you'll see a strong dude get up to about 180. When I go to the gym, I'm up to putting the whole entire stack and just doing it. There's not enough weight. But here, because my pulley system's a little bit more difficult, I can put 210 pounds on it and pull it. Most people, I don't see being able to do that. Maybe rock climbers. Rock climbers are extremely strong with their back. Extremely strong. Those guys are a different breed. Let me shut the heaters down and then get out of here. Stop heating. Stop heating. Okay, that's all I got. Well, heart rate, I don't know. I'm gonna get one of those Fitbits. Not Fitbits, but I like the Android smartwatches better. All right, I'm gonna go out here and finish my video. I got vehicles running. I'm gonna shut them off. I'm gonna finish my Ansel BM200 video so I can show you guys actually what happened with how it monitored the batteries the last few days and where it's at now after letting the vehicles run for about an hour. I had to let them run because all the batteries were almost dead. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you guys for being here. As always, thank you for supporting the channel and helping it grow like it's been growing lately. It's been growing great. And it's because of the engagement with you guys that it's happening. All of this communication, the comments, the thumbing up the video and stuff like that, it all helps the channel grow. And it's all because of you guys that it's been possible for me to do this lately. So I thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, just thanks for being patient with me through all the ups and downs over the years and stuff like that. I'm getting it together. I hope I'm starting to lead by example and kind of, I guess in a sense, being a role model for other men, trying to be a better husband and a better person in general, helping people and stuff like that. And just, you get it. I'm done. I don't need to say anything else. I appreciate y'all. Take care. Have a great day. Be blessed. I'm out.